Okay, this one's for Gabby. Way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh, why can't well, I see trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dare to, why, oh, why can't
Each morning I get up, I die a little. Can barely stand on my feet. Take a look in the mirror and cry, Lord, what you doing to me? I've spent all my years believing you, but I just can't get no relief. Lord, somebody, oh somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love? Every day of my life I worked like in my bones. At the end I take home my hard-earned pay all on my own. I get down on my knees and I start to pray till the tears run down from my eyes. Lord, somebody, oh somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love? Every day I try and I try and I try, but everybody wants to put me down. They say I'm going crazy. They say I got water in my brain. Ain't got no common sense, ain't got nobody left to believe. Somebody, oh somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love? Got no feel, I got no rhythm, I just keep losing my beat. I'm okay, I'm alright, ain't gonna face no defeat. I just gotta get out of this prison cell. Someday I'm gonna be free, Lord. Somebody, somebody, somebody find me somebody to love. Can anybody find me somebody to anybody, anywhere, anybody find me somebody to love.
Thank you, Euphonics. Good evening. Welcome to your baccalaureate service, seniors. We want to say congratulations and thank everyone who's here tonight. Parents, family, friends, faculty, staff, and all of our participants. Tonight, we're sharing sacred space. We're going to hear voices from different perspectives, brought together for one purpose: a celebration of our class of 2015 in its diversity and in all the things that have made this such a profound group of people. We're going to hear tonight the sublime and mundane. We're going to cry, hopefully, and we're going to laugh, hopefully. At Baccalaureate, we gather because this turning point, the eve of commencement, happens only once. And in such moments, such Liminal spaces is the space of spirituality. We pause before commencement to surround our seniors with love, to congratulate their accomplishments, of course, but to shower them with cherishing and adoration of a love between friends and family, mentor and mentee, humanity and God. And we hope you feel that love tonight and that it stays with you the rest of your life. Tomorrow you're going to receive your degree, and that's going to tell you what you learned. But tonight, we're going to talk about all the things we don't know in life. And that, by the way, for all of you graduates, is a whole lot. Tonight's about the mystery, the unknown, the undiscovered, the future, the world full of questions and endless horizons. Humility is called for tonight in the face of such mystery. We are together as a graduating class, as a college, and also tonight as one community, the city of Albion and Albion College. And may this unity bless us and motivate us. Amen. So I'm going to invite our president, Maury Ditzler, to bring his welcome, and we thank you for coming and blessing us with all of your wisdom tonight. So
I've got about 2 minutes, so I'm going to give you all my wisdom, I guess. We're so glad that you're here. Some of you are friends that we've known for, well, me for about a year, most of you for 4 years, and we're going to miss you when you leave campus. Some of you are community members. We see you around town. We're glad to have you here tonight. We expect to see you for a long time. And then some parents came a short ways or a long ways or halfway around the world from Australia or Egypt. We're so glad that people came to worship and reflect with us. I really like these baccalaureate services. They're one of my favorite events of the year. I think they have this great historical significance. They tie us to our founders. You know, colleges like Albion that were founded by Methodists or Presbyterians or Episcopalians or Jesuits had a religious flavor to them that was interesting, and it was expressed in often mandatory chapel services, right? So buildings like this were built, and they were built not for one baccalaureate service a year, but they were built at some institutions to meet every day for a service like this, and certainly many to meet several times a week. And then those of us came along in the 60s and 70s and rebelled against every form of authority and made certain that mandatory and required meetings like this were eliminated, except people kept them around for once a year on the eve of graduation. And it's important to kind of imagine what that tradition is and what ideas were shared. I find it really intriguing that those founders, and in our case, Methodists, were out here on the frontier and they thought, what do we need in Albion? What do we need in Calhoun County? What do we need in Sound Central Michigan? And you might have thought they would say, we need a technical school because we need to build industry. Or we need an agricultural school because we need to learn to farm. Or we need a school to train teachers because we have to start schools. But what they invariably said is, we need a liberal arts college. Right? Even though we're training ministers who will preach to farmers and teachers who will teach young people who only may go to school for a few years, we want those people trained in the classics and the classical languages and the sciences. And it's interesting to think about why they were so wise in figuring that out. And I think that it was because in many ways their theology from the New Testament has a lot in common with our thoughts and ideas about the liberal arts. And I would like to read a passage that I think was probably spoken of in this chapel, when it was a chapel service, it was a religious service, probably a number of times, and I think it ties to the liberal arts. It's from Paul's letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Now, why does that remind me of the liberal arts? Some of you came over to my house this year as first-year mentors, right? How many first-year mentors in the house, right? Some of you? Good. And you brought your first-year seminar classes over, and we talked about the liberal arts. And I asked the first-year students, what's unusual about this college you're attending? What's different than what you hear from your friends who went to other colleges? And amongst the things they would say is, well, we take courses from lots of different disciplines. We're becoming well-rounded. But the mentors would then pitch in, right? And some of you are those mentors, and you'd say, it's more than about becoming well-rounded, right? We're not just learning about a lot of things, but we're learning how they fit together. And we're learning how to take an idea from one discipline or one era or one religion and use it to enrich another discipline or another era or another religion. So we're learning to integrate ideas, not just learning lots of ideas, but that's not really particularly interesting unless we can tie them together. And then, if I was thoughtful, I said to those of you who are seniors, explain to the first-year students how you learn to do that, right? Because in each course you learn about one thing, but how do you get an opportunity to learn how it ties to something else? And if you thought about it, you remembered that your professors were often saying, you need to stop for a time of reflection. Right? If you're traveling to do service learning or doing an internship, they'd say, don't just do the work, stop and reflect on it. If you're studying something in a course, don't just read the material, but stop once in a while and think about it, reflect about it. And it's that reflection that enriches your education and puts it all together. And so somehow it seems very proper to me that we come into a spiritual center of campus, or what was for years a spiritual center of campus, and we reflect on the important issues that we've studied and learned about and begin to put all of that together. And so listen again to the chapter from Philippians, and particularly listen to that last phrase, and we'll say it just a little bit different this time and see if it doesn't fit with that liberal arts idea of stop and reflecting and seeing how all of these good things you've learned fit together. Finally, graduates of 2015, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if you've learned anything that's excellent or praiseworthy, reflect on those things. We're so glad you're here tonight.
As I've mentioned, tonight the class of 2015 shares sacred space. I will now invite Lakshmi Kota to the podium to open our time together with words from her spiritual tradition. Lakshmi, I invite you to come and share from the Bhagavad Gita.
It has been at Albion College that I first encountered the concept of interfaith. The idea not only influenced how I perceived other religions, but it also helped me rediscover and reinterpret my faith as well, the faith I grew up with. Today, I'm honored to share two passages from one of Hinduism's most important scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita. The Gita is a 700-verse scripture that is part of a larger Hindu epic called the Mahabharata. The Gita is framed as a dialogue between God, in the form of Krishna, and his charioteer, the Prince Arjuna. The dialogue covers many topics, including how to live life. The two short passages that I will be reading are from chapter 18, verse 58, and chapter 5, verse 24. So, Krishna says to Arjuna, "With your mind thus devoted to me, you shall overcome all difficulties by my grace. But from self-conceit, you do not care to listen to me, you will be lost." The next passage goes, "The one who finds their happiness within, their joy within, and their light only from within, this disciplined person to Brahman moksha goes having become Brahman." Moksha in Hinduism is the liberation from the endless cycle of suffering that can be achieved by self-realization. My prayer for all of us is that we can find our true happiness within, our true joy within, and our light of life from within. May God bless each of us as we take the next step in our life. Thank you.
I have the honor tonight to present a scholarship. The Divini Scholar Award is named in honor of 4 generations of the Divini family who have graduated from Albion College starting in 1900. The Divini family has generations of family members who have been leaders in the United Methodist Church as pastors and lay members. The award celebrates a graduate who intends to pursue an advanced theological degree and enter Christian ministry. The graduate who's being honored tonight is a graduate from the class of 2014, because this particular award has been set up so that it can be given to either a graduate from the class of 2015 or a graduate from the class of the year that the award is given or from the year before. And no one qualified from the class of 2015, but we're happy that Christina Hallam, class of 2014, is now in the fall entering Princeton Theological Seminary to study for ministry. So Christina, please come forward. I'm going to read a little thing about her. Christina, the selection committee was especially impressed with your clarity of calling to ministry, your outstanding leadership in spiritual life at Albion College, your scholarship as a researcher and student, your heart of social justice, your inclusivity, including people of all backgrounds, and your artistic heart. Your character and depth of friendship are exemplary.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
At this point, we will have reflections from members of your Albion College family. First, we're going to hear from Lisa Harris, class of 1989, then Senior Joe Silvestri, and finally from Dr. Cliff Harris. Each will be unique. Ms. Harris serves as an attorney in Oakland County and grew up here in Albion. Many of her family are here tonight, both her blood relatives and her church family, and I would ask her family, including church and friends that are here with Lisa, to please stand so we can greet you. Thank you. And she's joined here also by Tony Harris, class of 1987. Tony, are you? You can wave. There we are. Who is a school principal. And they know something about these moments. They just celebrated the graduation last weekend of their son, Tony Jr., who's here tonight? All right, from Lake Superior State University. So. Joe Silvestri is known on campus because of his many commitments, including lacrosse, Delt Sig, pre-medicine. The list goes on, but perhaps most of all, for those of us who know Joe, being a devoted friend and advocate for all. And Joe is also, I know most of his family is here tonight, and would like to welcome you. If you'd please rise, and we can greet you. Dr. Cliff Harris is somewhat well-known here on campus. He supervised Joe. That's a connection for our speakers. Joe worked on his research. Dr. Harris works tirelessly to support every one of his students as well as his colleagues. He gives and gives and gives some more from his heart and mind, and teaches generosity, hospitality, friendship, collegiality to every person he meets. Most recently, he's become a bit of a local Albion celebrity. When he's not teaching chemistry or biochemistry, he's started the Blues at the Bohm program, and we want to thank him for that. And there's power in those tunes, Dr. Harris. There's power, organic power. Each of our speakers have fashioned a message with your best future in mind, and I'm sure that you will be blessed. Lisa, Joe, Cliff, thank you so much for being willing to share. So let's give them a warm round of applause. Please.
Good afternoon. We had a beautiful sunshiny day, and then it decides to pour and rain on my travel here from Auburn Hills, Michigan. But I am so pleased and delighted to be here at Albion College, to President Ditzler, to Reverend Dan, to all of the trustees, faculty, alumni, family, friends, current students, and to the class of 2015. I'm very glad to be here. And congratulations. This is a wonderful and momentous time in your life, and I think anytime that there's a special time in your life, you want to reflect on the Word of God. So I'm particularly interested in actually what our president said today and what I'm going to be presented. So I think it's very much in divine order. I'm going to be reading a passage to you from Joshua, beginning at chapter 1. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' aide, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now then, you and all these people get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I'm about to give you. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So Joshua ordered the officers of the people, go through the camp and tell the people, get your provisions ready. 3 days from now, you will cross the Jordan, here to go in